Hello and welcome to Jedi and the Mailman, the show where two old friends aim to deliver the best Star Wars talk in the galaxy. I'm Mike the Mailman. That's Jimmy the Old Guy Jedi. That's Jack. And we are here to talk about a wonderful movie from way back in the day that I'm sure we all have great opinions on. But before we get into that, something tragic happened today. Have you heard?
It's about Ozzy.
Yeah, it's Ozzy Osbourne died
Yes.
today.
Damn.
It sucks that terrible people continue to live, yet great people, Ozzy Osbourne, just leave us too early.
You guys remember that? What was the show? The Osbournes?
Yeah, that's Osbourne show on
in the
TV.
2000s.
That show. I mean, think about because what was it? What band was he part of? What was it?
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, Black Sabbath. So they had this reputation, and they did some terrible things when they were younger.
Oh yeah,
like
he was a madman, dude.
Yeah,
bit the head off a bat.
Yes, bats. I've heard things
Two
about
doves.
bees and stuff. Like just sick, gross. But then, later on in life,
yeah,
that whole
he
show
down.
changed the. I mean, he loved Karen. Just yelling for Karen or whatever. It's Karen, right? Yeah, Karen. Sharon.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I knew she wasn't a Karen. She's not a Karen.
Nope.
But yeah,
so his manager, she kept him on the straight and narrow, and I mean, he would have died a long time ago. I would imagine if it wasn't for Sharon. She kept everything together for him, and kept him going. But that guy, just an insane individual. The things he did in his life, and I'm not a big metalhead or anything like that, but some of his music's just phenomenal. Insane. I mean, he created a lot, started a revolution really, and getting arrested in Texas for pissing on the Alamo, and like you said, biting the head off a bat. And somebody told me a story today. He went into Sharon was trying to convince the record executives to take a chance on him that he's not that crazy, so he took these two doves in his pockets into the meeting at the record executives. His plan was to release the doves and say, it's a happy, I'm not crazy, just like a celebratory thing. But he ended up biting the heads off of the doves in the meeting. Still got a record contract, but yeah, just nuts stuff. But a very, very unique individual.
Yeah, there's a couple. I don't know if anyone outside the U.S. knows the Cosby Show, but Malcolm Paul Warner, Theo, he drowned apparently.
Yes.
So geesh.
Yeah, young guy too, in his 50s, I think.
54. That's young, Jack.
Than us.
Jack, that's young.
So, it has to be young. We're almost there.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I got a lot of questions. Oh, there we go. Kenobi. I'm jealous, man. I went into we have this massive, like every town or area, they have, we have quick trips out here in Kansas, and they still don't have those.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of mad.
Sheetz, baby. Sheetz.
He knew Sheetz would get them. Sheetz is the greatest.
I was there this morning using the restroom. And as I was coming out, there was a girl and her mom that came out. She had bought a Coke and she said, "Oh, Mom, there's Star Wars on here." I'm like, "Oh, thank God." So I went back after work and got me a couple Kenobis.
Nice. Hold on to one just in case.
Okay.
Because if I don't get one, I'm going to.
Are they worth more full or empty?
Probably full.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Go back and get
who do you got there?
Double damn it.
Is that 3PO? Yeah, you Solo and 3PO,
nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to go back and keep them full, I think.
Damn it.
We got a lot of people in the chat already.
Yeah.
Yes. We got loads of
and ready to go. Steve Jedi Jarvo says, "Hello there. I've rewatched Attack of the Clones earlier in preparation for today's show. Can't wait to hear your thoughts, Steve. Thanks for joining us."
Steve is anxious.
Tahoo's in the house.
Woo-hoo.
So,
yeah, Steve's anxious. He was on here before we even went live. So
I know. So appreciate that.
Ready to chat.
And Skywalker Ryan says, "Happy Tuesday. I love Attack of the Clones. So underrated."
Preach.
I think we're gonna have a good discussion today because I was watching some stuff. I was liking some stuff.
Yeah.
I was fast forwarding through some stuff.
But you want to start off with just like what our general thoughts were on this?
Let me give some stats first.
Okay.
I do love my stats. All right, folks. We are here to talk about Attack of the Clones.
Educate us, Mr. Adam.
Director George Lucas, written by Lucas and Jonathan Hales. It cost $115 million to make. It grossed $653.8 million. It was only the fourth highest movie in 2002. It got beat by Harry Potter and Secret Chamber of Secrets, Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, ironically, Christopher Lee being in both, and Spider-Man. This is the first time a Star Wars movie was not number one at the end of the year that it was released.
Yeah,
So
well, competition like that. I mean, geez,
those are four pretty huge movies.
Yeah,
Harry Potter was. I mean, we didn't know what J.K. was like yet, so
yeah.
I'll be curious as to what happens with that HBO series.
I hope they fail.
So, but and then we had Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. I mean, I remember going midnight showings to all of these movies, like all four of these movies. I was at the midnight showing Thursday night, 12:01. It would actually start.
Yeah, I wasn't into the Potter stuff then, but Two Towers, I was definitely there. That movie just rocks. So, the dawn charge down the hill.
Yeah. So we can dive into stuff. Last time we talked about kind of how we were when we first saw it. That worked well for us, not so much for TR because she was one. So 2002. So Jack, you're a little bit older than Tiara, a little bit taller. She's so. Talk to us, Jackie boy. Do you remember the first time you seen Attack of the Clones? How are you feeling about it when you walk out of the theaters?
So I was 12.
All right.
I was 12.
That's the right age.
For Attack of the Clones. I went with, I think my mum took me with my best friends at the time, so we were big Star Wars fans. And I think one of the things that stuck with me the most was, in some points I was quite bored, thinking, can we get to the fighting? And when the fighting did happen, it was good. Yeah. Especially, the scene with the Geonosians, seeing Mace Windu. I had mixed feelings, I think is fair to say. I think it's the first Star Wars film, or probably film at that age, where I'd sat through and thought, this is going on and on and on. It felt like it did drag.
Yeah, there are parts, that's for sure.
Yeah. But no, overall, I enjoyed it.
We got Perry Capurro over on Instagram says the ship's taking off loaded with clones, great scenes. Yeah, we're going to get to that because that is something I think they're missing the mark on. But we'll get to that when we'll kind of go through the movie as we do. And then, of course, at the end, we're going to talk about how we feel about the movie now, I guess. Right. So, Jack, you were kind of bored. Remember being 12 years old and
kind of bored? Yeah, I was kind of bored. But then I think, there's big moments in that when we see Yoda getting it down with Count Dooku. We're seeing different types of lightsaber, different Jedi. That sort of thing definitely kept the interest. I think that's the whole romance thing kind of killed it off for me. I found that quite boring.
12-year-old boys probably
awkward. Yeah, I just wanted to see
some weird things whenever you saw Padme on the screen.
Yeah, right. But again, it's I think I was more amazed that Padme hadn't aged a day compared to Anakin.
Yeah. Dang, she's got some good skin cream there on Naboo. So, Steve says my favorite scene at the beginning is the death stick. Yeah, it's awesome because that's Mouse from the Matrix, and the woman in the red dress is also like standing right beside him from the Matrix stuff. So that was a pretty cool scene. You were 12. Jimmy, Mike, and I are ancient.
We are, yes.
You're what, 25, 27 at this point, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Remember, you and I talked about we'd be 25 in 2000. I remember we were talking. We had this conversation as kids. Like, how old would we be when it hit 2000? Because that seemed so far away. Yeah, something like that, right? I mean,
something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, Mike, how about you? Did you go see this?
I'm sure that I did, but I do not remember seeing it in the theaters. Like I said, I'm sure that I did. I can't imagine that I didn't. But unlike Phantom Menace, like Star Wars was back with Phantom Menace. Like you couldn't forget when you went to see that because it had been forever since we saw Star Wars. But this, I mean, not that it wasn't anticipated or whatnot, but it just doesn't. There's no memory in my head of, getting together with friends or anything like that and going to see this movie. I'm sure that I saw it. I mean, I know that I saw it at least when it came out on VHS and whatnot. I had them all, but yeah, I don't recall it in the theaters. I do recall, like I said, getting the DVD box set because it was Star Wars. I had to have all that stuff. But going into this rewatch, I remember not liking this movie very much at all. Like some of the things we've talked about, the awkward dialogue with the young Anakin and things like that. And there were certain things that I completely forgot about it. And this in my memory was just kind of a dull, boring movie. And it was sort of, we'll talk about it as we go along here, but this rewatch, either I was in the right headspace or whatever, but I found it much more enjoyable watching it now than I did back in the day, or at least my memories of seeing it before. So, what about you?
I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't remember where I saw this movie.
Yeah,
I can't remember where I was. I think I was in West Virginia, but I'm not 100% sure. Going to Marshall at the time, that we are Marshall for the semester that I was there. But I don't know. I can't remember.
yeah.
Like nothing about this movie.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Like, I mean, I got pretty good memory when it comes not to a lot of things, but like movies.
Yeah.
Useless knowledge. It's my wheelhouse. And just like you, I mean, I'm sure as soon as we hang up or done with the show, I'll be, oh, damn, this is where I was. But honestly, I can't remember.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, I can remember Phantom Menace. I can remember Revenge of the Sith. Like, just, yeah, like, so.
I don't remember any of the promotion stuff.
Yeah.
It did have a $400 million drop off from the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just don't remember.
Yeah.
Where I was.
Do you remember when you came home one year? This had to be probably more than 5 years ago. We went out to the lake and watched the movie. I was thinking this was the one that they were showing, but it's not, is it?
It was Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I let that kid answer that question when I was like,
yep, I remember.
Damn it, I know the answer.
They're really easy trivia questions.
Yeah,
but, we didn't want to take toys from the kids.
So I'd have shown no mercy.
Says Perry says over on Instagram that the Obi-Wan fight with Jango Fett was a great fight scene. Yeah. And he's something about Grievous, but that doesn't come until the next movie. It's a great fight scene. Speeder scene was great against the others in the canyons. Yeah. George Lucas gave credit to Chariot scene and Ben-Hur. Yeah. Lots of stuff. George was famous for ripping things off, but give him credit for, I don't think anyone's original anymore at this point.
No.
We got Daniel Logan played young Boba, was brilliant 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. Do you ever see that scene whenever Ewan McGregor is on the Graham Norton show and he's talking about the kid just couldn't get the scene, and George is kind of getting frustrated. So Ewan McGregor like leans down and goes, when the door opens, pretend you smell a fart. That's why that look on his face. He's like,
perfect.
Like, yeah, and it worked, and they just went with it and had a good chuckle afterwards. It's a pretty funny story.
That's awesome.
So yeah, but yeah, for me, I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I it's weird that I can't remember. I've never really cared for this movie, and I will say though, looking for some stuff, I feel like this could have been a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of good things in this. That dialogue kills it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though.
So many awesome one-liners.
Yeah. So
just putting myself in a frame of mind watching it this time, though, with the idea that Charlie put in our heads of think of Anakin as a stupid kid who doesn't know anything about girls, and putting it into that perspective made those things work a little better for me. It's still cringy, but it made much more sense for me for the character. He was right. You know what I mean? It was right for that character.
There's some things we'll get into.
Yeah.
I have some questions.
Okay. I have some questions too.
And I got some things, and I I don't know, man. I don't know about some of this, but then some of it I'm like, holy rip! Like, and then there's some things about continuity that I think may be messed up. So
Yeah.
we need to have a session, and that's why we're here to talk about Attack of the Clones. So let me take a look at my list from last week. We can kind of just follow the same suit. Members coming out of the theater. Do we have a favorite new character from this? Is there anyone new? And I have a fun fact about Captain Tytho. I looked up fun facts, and I did not know this one. But do you guys have a new? Because he's not my favorite new character, but it just happened to pop up. Favorite new character from this series, from this movie specifically. So out there in on Instagram and on YouTube, do you have a favorite new character like showed up for the first time in this film?
I mean, they introduced Dooku.
Yep.
Dooku's pretty bad.
I got a good story about him too.
Yeah. Trying to think who else might have been a standout.
Mine was Mace Windu by a country mile.
Yeah, Mace was in the last one though.
But when we get to see him fighting, we see the purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
Absolute game changer.
Gets to do more, that's for sure. But I guess you could say favorite character. It is hard because we're kind of established, but anyone new that kind of popped into your head. I guess we can play both sides.
I mean, to be fair, Django Fett.
Yeah.
Django was new. He'll never be a hat model, will he? Oh, he'll never be the head of a major corporation. Oh.
Speaking of Django, when Boba's holding the helmet, do you think his head's still in there?
See, didn't they cut, or if you slow it down, isn't there a shadow of the head originally? In the original cut, there was like a shadow of the head like flying out of the helmet or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's an extended version where he's running towards him and he chops his arms off as well. He absolutely mutilates him before he just dissects his head. Whereas they stuck with the original cut of just a clean head sweep.
So, Mike, what about you? What character?
Well, like I said, Dooku.
Dooku. We got Mace Windu.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of Jedi that we saw in the last sitting around in the council or whatever that are now fighting and whatnot. Yeah, Kit Fisto. Man, Kit Fisto is such a cool character in the Clone Wars, but when you see, he is so weird looking live action.
He's creepy and not used well at all.
No.
So, I think like Dexter Jetster.
Yeah.
His character was weird, but then they kind of flush him out in phase 2 of the High Republic Adventures. He's part of Maz Kanata's gang back in the day. Him and Therm Scissor Punch and a few other people. So there's like some backstory to him. So they're kind of filling in some blanks. I can't say that like when I watched this, I was like blown away by his character or anything like that. But I thought he was interesting. It was kind of neat to see Obi-Wan have a friend. Was this the first time we saw the librarian? What's her name?
It's really tip of my tongue.
Why can't I think?
Jocasta Nu.
Yeah, Jocasta Nu.
Boom.
Oh, there we go. And then she gets some cool scenes in the first Vader comic. She's the first one Vader goes after, and she makes that blaster with the. So these are like things that happen outside of the movie, but I don't know. Geonosians were pretty cool, kind of creepy.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah, they did do a really good job with the Geonosians, I think. They didn't look, I mean, for as much interaction as you had with them, the battles and stuff like that, they looked pretty well done compared to some of the other CGI and whatnot in this.
Yeah. Steve brings up a good point. Thanks to the Tales of the Jedi, we get to see Dooku erase Camino. And we also figure out why Master Yaddle's nowhere to be seen.
Yep.
R.I.P. Yaddle.
Yeah.
R.I.P. She's getting a lot more play and a lot of stuff that's coming out prior to Phantom Menace, and it making it a little bit more painful, that scene, as we go along. But so let me see. Go back to my list. Do you have a favorite scene? We can talk some scenes. We can talk.
Oh, wow.
This is a tough one, I think, because on this rewatch, and I will be honest with you guys, I just walked downstairs from rewatching it. I was like, I'm going to have this fresh. I took some notes. My sister's here. She's watching it. She's like, what the hell are those things? My wife's like, what? So we do not watch this movie in this house very often. This might be the first time I've watched it in this house, and I've lived here for 3 years.
Yeah.
So
It's certainly been a long time since I've seen this one. Like I said earlier, I watched it in 2 sittings. I wanted to make sure I could squeeze it in. So I think it was Saturday or Sunday night. I watched the first half and then I watched the second half on Monday. So I guess it probably doesn't feel as long and boring because I sat, watched it in 2 different sittings, broke it in half like that. But um, honestly, there's a lot of good scenes in this. The one that sticks out to me right away is when Dooku comes in and meets Obi-Wan.
yes,
He's in the, in the being held in the suspension or whatever like that, just being snarky as can be,
but also asking for help.
Yeah, if you're gonna get me out of here, could you please hurry? I got work to do.
Yeah, but like Dooku though, if you sit there and you listen to the stuff he says, he wishes Qui-Gon was there. He'd understand, he'd know what to do. Yep. I mean, he tells everybody everything that's going on. Yep. I mean, he completely just opens up because he wants help. Like he does. I mean, he's probably suffering from what he did to Yaddle.
Yeah.
Right, because he's kind of basically just gone down that thing, and then he's doing all this, and I mean, Dooku is asking for help until the end. Then he's kind of an a-hole, but
yeah,
Yoda.
Well, to me, it's very dark side. You know what I mean? He's like being all nice about it, and being truthful. Honestly, your master wasn't what you thought. You know what I mean? Your master questioned the Qui-Gon. He questioned the council a lot, and Qui-Gon would have been on my side, and you should join my side too. And just laying it out there, this is how it is, but Obi-Wan doesn't bite. But that's the total dark side to me. They were
had some of those chimera bites.
Yep, try to lure you in.
What about you, Jack? Do you like that scene? Like, what do you think about that scene?
Yeah, I like it, but I think personally, like the biggest standout scene is got to be the Yoda Dooku stuff. I don't think anyone was expecting Yoda to be dancing around like he did.
That was a big part of the second season of ILM.
Yeah, right? and for it to look so realistic, again, credit to ILM and the team, especially when you've got the actor doing the stunt double doing Count Dooku's lightsaber scene with Yoda.
Yeah, that was a big payoff because they mentioned how good of a swordsman Yoda is multiple times, and nobody thinks he's a crippled little green guy. He's 800 years old. How can he fight? And then you get the whirling ball of.
You see his true power as well when Dooku tries to crush him under that pillar.
Yeah,
and I think that's where you really feel the strength of Yoda, and then
Yoda
the mind starts racing.
Yeah, Yoda does a lot in this film. Like he's training the younglings, and then of course that scene is sick. Like I didn't get to finish it because we started a little bit late, but I was like, I gotta get to this part.
Yeah,
and then when that happened, I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
Could you imagine trying to cross sabers with someone like that? Like just flip it around. He's like a squirrel. Like a squirrel can be like so cute until it starts jumping around and coming at you.
Battles with your kids.
Yeah. But just jump around like coming at you at all those different angles. Like I don't know how you'd deal with something like that. Just so nimble and quick and swords from every angle.
There's no way you're expecting it. Although this is my question. Dooku is his Padawan. So he had to have known.
Yeah, for sure.
At some level of what Yoda could do.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he has fallen to the dark side and he is arrogant. But I mean, I feel like, he looks surprised. I mean, it's just, the whole crowd, like Tahu said, I feel like I remember that everyone cheering. I know that was a big thing on the Industrial Light and Magic show on Disney. The second season was one of the things is they knew that was going to be huge when he does that old Western style thing. And for me,
was you're thinking one more thing to think about here too is as Dooku goes into that fight with Yoda, he's potentially about to eliminate an entire race because he's already taken out Yaddle and he thinks he's going to take out Yoda. And those are the only two beings of that race that we know of.
Do you think Yoda knows about Yaddle at this point as well? as in being taken out by
probably
Dooku.
knows that she's gone, right? Because he can feel everything in the Force. I mean, they show him feeling stuff happening on Tatooine.
Yeah,
I said like this
thinking
movie.
that Dooku did it.
Yeah, that's debatable.
I mean, I'm going to say no, but maybe he can sense it from him. He can probably sense some pain or suffering. Because I don't know if he's fully gone yet. Because he seems like, I don't know.
There's so many things in that scene, and even after all that, Dooku's then chucking out the Force lightning, which we've only seen in the Return of the Jedi. So again, people in the cinema are gasping like, "Oh my god!"
Why doesn't he have Sith eyes? Because Christopher Lee doesn't want to put in contacts, or
probably. The budget wasn't in there to go back in and doctor it.
Yeah. So apparently, he had been offered the role of Grand Moff Tarkin originally. I did not know this.
Okay.
And he turned it down. Of course, those guys, Alec Guinness, all of them, Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, like they're all friends. They're all in tons of British movies together, right, Jack? Like they're like Cold War movies and things like that, and vampire movies. And I know, So when that opportunity came, apparently he jumped at it because he was like, "I'm not missing the chance to be in Star Wars," which has actually kind of worked out better for him, getting to be a character that, gets to be in 2 movies, not just one. Gets to be the main villain, really. I mean, one of the big villains the entire time. I'm going to see if I can find that.
Well, Tarkin got to be in 2 movies as well. He was just dead in the other one.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so Lee got the opportunity. Well, he said he wouldn't let this opportunity pass by a second time, so he agreed to play Count Dooku, entering the Star Wars universe. So, I think, man, because this kind of goes into a story of something I want to talk about. The battle scene, the Clone Wars battle scene, right? They land, and then when they take up out of Geonos, out of the arena, and they come up and around, they fly around that corner, and there's all hell breaking loose.
Yeah,
and you see immediately the Jedi are out in front, and they got a platoon. They got a platoon of. They immediately fall into lockstep. And I want to come back and talk about this at the end, so don't let me forget, because I want to talk about like the possibility of what this could, like a band of brothers, Clone Wars, but it doesn't have to be. Because I know, like, 10 more is playing 47 characters, but like, what if it was like a Jedi that we didn't know, a Jedi and a Padawan that we didn't really know, right? You can just introduce them, no big deal. You could have a medic, or some kind of like tech. You could do a little gang of people that are working together and have. So, anyways, I want to talk about that a little bit before we get to the end, but so I kind of really love that scene, and then of course the Yoda scene where, bam, and just. That whole flipping the lightsaber flip to his hand is just, sick.
Yeah.
Just kind of, every time I have watched this movie, I just kind of wait for that moment. I'm like, this is, and I know originally I did not like this film. This was the part that I'm like, that was great. Like
I still wish that he'd pulled out the lightsaber from his walking stick.
Oh, that would have been pretty cool.
That'd have been amazing.
Yeah, that'd have been pretty cool.
I think another scene as well that's huge. Again, a lot of people sort of had 2 different views on was Anakin's sort of not redemption, but saving his mum.
Yeah.
I think deep down, everyone wanted Anakin to return to save Shimmy. Obviously, he went about it a bit. Well, it depends. I'm sure people in that same position with that power, would they have done the same thing potentially?
Speaking of Shmi, do you see Tiara's cosplay that she posted today?
Yeah, it's looking good.
Whoa, yeah, wow. That was kind of blown away by that today, so I'm looking forward to seeing that in person. But yeah, that's a tough scene. I have that on here too to talk about.
Well, do you want to talk about it now?
Well, yeah, we can.
Or do you want to get to it?
Let's.
it came up here organically. We can.
Yeah. So okay. So let's talk about everything that encompasses in that scene, right? I know that it's supposed to, like, Anakin has to fall. Like Lucas doesn't realize that he's going to have the Clone Wars to give us Anakin's fall, right? He has to show these signs, and some of that I think is some of that bad writing, because even like the argument that they have, as soon as they meet Padme, they're getting into a fight with each other, him and Kenobi, and I mean it's constant, all these little flashes of anger. And then of course his mom, he goes out and he's like, you guys all suck, I'm gonna go find her. And he does, and then he kills everyone
and everything.
Everything. And I mean, he says it, I slaughtered them like animals, the men, the women, the children. So I mean, he's setting a precedent for his, the child slayer 5,000. But and then I also want to include this into this part. Then he goes home and he cries about it. And what does Padme do? She shouldn't arrest his ass.
Nothing.
Not, well, it's okay, Annie. No, I've done some dumb things because I've been in love. I've acted foolish.
Yeah.
But I think if someone confessed mass murder to me,
and
you're going to be horrified. You're going to be horrified for at least a few seconds.
Yeah, I get this sucks. But I always tell my kids in my history class, when men die all the time in history, it's not a big deal. When women and children are killed, that's when things always change because men are supposed to pay that ultimate price, like on all the wars and things leading up. And because we talk about like the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire in New York City and all those young girls, 156 young girls. I'm like, and that caused change because it was women and there were children. So like that's a precedent for like you don't mess with the kids, man. And even in like horror movies and stuff like that, kids don't typically get like, I know there's some things, but they usually get saved or something. And but what do you guys think of that whole thing that plays out? So like he happened, and then we find out later on that he told Palpatine about it, but nobody else.
Yeah.
We find that in the next movie. But yeah, the whole scene, like how are we feeling? Like,
I mean, I can certainly identify, like I think any man, if they have at least a decent relationship with their mother and they find that their mother has been captured and tortured and she dies in your arms, you're going to have a violent reaction. There's almost no way about it. Even if you're a peaceful person, you're going to have a violent reaction. Maybe you don't kill all the kids and women, but you're going to have a violent reaction. So I can identify with Anakin there. But when he goes back to Padme and confesses it all, I mean, this has to be proof that there is no mental health in the Star Wars galaxy, because even if Padme just wants to be supportive, first of all, like there's got to be something on your face of some inflection of horror, like even for a second, like, oh my God. And maybe you process that pretty quickly and you want to be supportive of this person because you can put yourself in that headspace and understand, but you've got to direct that person to get help. Like, this is a sick boy. He needs help. Like this, doesn't matter. Like, you've got to process these feelings. And it seems to me that there is no psychiatry, there's no mental health at all in the Star Trek universe or Star Wars universe.
I mean, it kind of ties into the stuff that happens with, I know, again, it's a movie and they're trying to show us these outbursts and things like that. But then I wrote down towards the end of, I wrote down Anakin sucks. His tirade about Padme falling out of the ship. How can Obi-Wan ever trust this idiot?
Yeah.
Like, and everyone senses, and I mean, doesn't Yoda not ask Anakin? Like, because he knows Anakin's in all this pain. Does he never have a conversation with, like, hey, Annie, come talk to me. We want to chat for a minute.
There's no discussions like that in the Star Wars universe, apparently.
Jack,
this is why I wanted to have a female on, because how does Padme just excuse that? Like, Padme is such an amazing character. Like, we see her later in the execution scene, how she is just in control, gets herself out of that, takes care of herself. Like, she's such a powerful character. Yet in this moment,
she dummy.
There's nothing. Like, haven't
they just been together as well? They were together on Naboo, weren't they?
Yeah.
So they've done the deed at this point. Let's put it that way.
I would assume. Yeah.
And then the next thing I'll say is,
that's confusing too. Is like what has happened. I mean, I don't want to sexualize Padme. Like, yeah, she's beautiful and all this stuff, but like she dresses. I mean, this kid's like 19 years old and she comes out in that black outfit of hers and everything's, and again, doesn't mean, but like what is she trying to do to this poor kid?
Right.
Exactly. And then at this point as well, well, at what point did anyone really like Tusken Raiders?
Well, that's the thing. I was going to ask that. Is this like they're less than human kind of thing?
Yeah, and this is
And
what I
then-
was going to get
yeah.
at. This is the brilliance of the writing, because we're starting to see this dark side of Anakin turn out. But at this point, I think with the films and what we've seen and what we know, we sort of agree with everything. Whereas now, because we've seen all these things, we've seen Book of Boba Fett, which really dived into the Tusken Raider culture, and they're not really animals, let's say.
Not animals at all. They're basically like native. I mean,
People.
half of them are
Right.
human because, I mean, the end of the Obi-Wan Kenobi book, I know it's not canon, but like that, I don't want to give anything away, but like we'll just say that people become Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
Like there's human beings, Darth Krayt.
I think it's absolutely masterful how George Lucas and his team made this happen, and for you as us as viewers, we didn't really feel anything apart from good. I'm glad we've done that.
Yeah,
which was
well, I wish I could remember how I felt the first time I seen him do that.
Yeah, I am sure. I'm sure the first time I saw it, I thought it was completely justified.
Well, they lined us up perfectly for the next film, because from that they started Tusken Raiders, Anakin's killed them Raiders, everyone's gone, yes, awesome. The next film, Anakin slaughtering children, and we're not quite as and it hits harder.
Yeah. But that's the sort of thing, like they pull from history. It's the same sort of thing we've seen throughout humanity, where we other certain races or certain nationalities or certain whatever, and we demean them. I mean, it happens today. You know what I mean? Like we talk of them as others, and it's okay. Yes, exactly. We talk of them as others, and it's okay whatever we do to them.
We don't.
We don't. No, but the giant we,
Yes,
and it happens. It continues to happen. People fall for it. It's it is like just one more thing that. Star Wars isn't political, but this is taken right from political history.
Is nothing but political.
Exactly.
So, okay. Let's say, Jack, you brought up an awesome point, right? Us as viewers up to this point just see Tusken Raiders as bad guys. We don't know if they're human. We don't know what's underneath there, right? So that's fine. Okay, so we're saying that, but he kills everybody. Like at some point, I mean, I guess I know the difference between hearing it and seeing it are huge, but there, I mean, like you said, Mike, like that's a problem that Padme is like, I'm just going to make you feel better. Right. Like that's kind of bad writing, I think.
Yeah.
And it takes away from like what Jack, I think you said about in the arena. She's handling business. Like Anakin's getting scolded like a little boy, and she's like, "Nope, I'm
climbing up the pole."
Yeah, so and she's BA for sure, but that scene bothers me more now. And again, I really wish, like you said, Jack, you're probably right. We didn't think anything of it. Like, oh, they're animals. They deserve what they got. They killed his mom. But
yeah, we've seen so many examples now in cinema where writers and directors they've dove into these sort of things. You know what I mean? Like get to the heart of it and explore it from other angles, and not just set it up as he killed kids and moving on. It could have the relationship could have, the depth of the relationship could have grown there. However, you know what I mean? Just some reaction from Padme, whether it's to be, it's okay, Annie, I'll help you through this or whatever. But just that, like, she doesn't react at all. It's just really odd.
even when Anakin says children and everything,
there's
nothing there.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And she's a good actor. She's a good actor.
Yeah, we know
whether at that point, again,
she's
Padme
young.
knows.
Yeah, she is young at this time, but
we know at that point
she was
Padme
16.
knows she's gonna have the kids.
Yeah, she was 16 during Phantom Menace. It was probably the best actor in that movie, so she'd be 19 during this. Yeah.
This is a good point too. I know I had it up here for a minute. I'll put it back down. But why is he hearing Qui-Gon's voice? Is that a precursor, Jack? 'Cause I know you saw that. Anakin. Yoda hears Qui-Gon's voice when he's meditating. Anakin, no, right? Is that the beginning of Qui-Gon talking to Yoda to teach him about the Force? Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, they could have bridged that connection early, or we could have been hearing again a perspective from Anakin. If anyone's going to tell Anakin, no, don't do it, he's going to listen at this point. It's going to be probably Qui-Gon.
Yeah. Whether it was intentional or not, if anybody asked me now, as if I was the one who wrote that, I would say, yeah, it was completely intentional.
Attack of the Clones is highly underrated in my opinion. Yeah, what do you love about it? Sith happens. What do you love? Like, tell us.
Come to that opinion as well.
Yeah, I think that this is a diamond in the rough. I think that love scene, and I'll be honest with you, I fast forwarded through the entire love scene part. Like, I was like, this sucks. I can't stand it.
I watched it.
I love what we got from the girls that one night we had them on the show, and I get it.
I just had to try it from that perspective.
I couldn't.
It helps. It helps. It really does.
And here's the thing, though, guys, and I didn't know this either. I can't believe this has never been talked about. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
One scene was improvised at Lucas's behest. The scene where Anakin and Padme have dinner together was entirely improvised by Christensen and Natalie Portman. Lucas didn't mind. In fact, he asked them to do that because he was unhappy with the dialogue he had written in the script. How bad was that dialogue that he let those two? That might be the only time things aren't terrible, and Anakin's showing that he's a little pouty boy, like Master Obi-Wan would be so mad at me, blah, blah, blah. But how bad was that writing that he says, hey, you two, you're 19 and maybe
make something up.
However old Christensen is, he's probably roughly the same age. You two who've not really done much, you guys just wing it, and we'll see what happens. George Lucas does not give me
He definitely said, look, this is a first date. You're a Jedi. How do you impress a girl? Watch this.
You're right. That's crazy.
So frustrating to me. I just found this out. There was I typed in 20 fun facts or fun facts about Clone Wars, and I got some interesting. Some of this is really interesting, but so I didn't know, because it's all about clones, right? That originally in Empire Strikes Back, Lando Calrissian was supposed to have been a clone from a planet that clones and been. So Lando's character was going to be a clone in Empire Strikes Back that had fought in the Clone Wars. I had never heard that before.
No, me.
But like in one of those original, of course, it's probably like that's not really going to fit. So let's move on.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So I guess George Lucas had the idea of a Clone War back then, but hadn't fleshed out the details.
Yeah,
of what
I
he
think
really wanted it to be.
Thinking about what was. Yeah. We got what did Steve say here? Steve says with Palpatine's steps starting getting him down the path of the dark side proves true to Yoda's wise words. Fear is a path of the dark side. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Yeah. And they had that conversation in Revenge of the Sith.
And Rise of Skywalker, it was him that bridged the gap between Rey and Kylo.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Palpatine there real quick, just watch, like, the scenes with Palpatine are very, like, these are the steps you'd have to take. And it's very, like, there's no nuance or anything like that. It's just very straightforward. I got to get voted the powers, and I got to, just very plain, the steps. And you think, like, oh, God, that doesn't seem real at all. But then you see it in real life, and that's just how it happens. Like,
I want to get into some of that too. Like,
okay.
Yeah, this one might run a little bit long. So I'm kind of surprised because I wasn't expecting this conversation. Like, I thought, oh, this is going to be terrible because this is not a good movie. But I really do think that maybe I came around a little bit to some of the things that were actually in this movie. Mm-hmm. Sith Happens says this brought some of the most amazing visuals to date for the time at least. Gene Ocean's battle was absolutely iconic. Not to mention, this opens up arguably the best animated series. Yeah,
for sure.
Well, pretty much the whole film was shot digitally anyway. So
yeah, this was the first one, right? Because it wasn't ready for the Phantom Menace, and this was the first one that's shot digitally. Is there anything that, like, I mean, obviously everyone knows that I hate the dialogue and I hate the scene at the lake house. Is there anything that you guys are like, this. I mean, other than maybe that as well.
I think that a lot of the time is Hayden Christensen's acting is quite wooden.
Yeah.
I mean, he completely pulled it out of the bag in Revenge of the Sith, thank God. But yeah, I think for the first part of the film, at least, it was a difficult watch.
And
as an adult, not as a kid. As a kid, I didn't really care because you don't really read into it that much.
Yeah.
And things that don't make sense make sense. Whereas an adult, things that don't make sense don't make sense.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
I don't know. I had an easier time with it this time, like I said earlier. Just putting myself in that perspective, like that the girls had told me to put my mind to, and then just knowing what comes from this movie, like the Clone Wars, all that storytelling springs from this movie. And I don't know, it really put this whole movie into a different light for me. It's kind of what I was hoping for with Phantom Menace. Like I was really hoping to sit down and really enjoy the Phantom Menace last week. Not so much. My opinion didn't change much on the Phantom Menace.
So you like this movie better than you like the Phantom Menace?
Yeah, honestly.
I'm the opposite.
I did not expect that at all. But
no, that's awesome. That's why we're doing this. It's been a while for you. And I mean, I can't remember the last time I watched this movie. So I had some things written down at the beginning. One of them is just kind of funny, right? The ships are flying and then they turn upside down and then it writes itself. What is going on there? Someone explain to me the physics of Star Wars in that scene, because I know like they have those anti-gravity things, right? So you're walking around, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So everyone has to be strapped down because you went from this to this to make it all make sense. And it's a beautiful scene. Like I love the opening. I forgot how cool this opening scene was. That ship comes down through, it's flying into Coruscant. That looks really cool. It's coming down through the sky, breaking through the clouds. Beautiful. It lands. And then right off the bat, boom, an explosion. And, it sets the tone for the movie. And I think that people kind of forget about that because I was like, damn, that really starts the movie like off. Like, I mean, they just killed one of her handmaidens.
Yep.
But I need someone to explain. I think Sith Happens is trying to.
I think he's hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, physics are a myth in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't remember that part of that part. And I thought that's really visually like beautiful. Like I loved it. Like I love the whole scene going into the explosion. I don't know why Corday has no shoes on, and they just leave her there, and everyone's standing dead handmaiden laying in the middle of the thing. I get it, but
the droids will come take care of that.
Yeah, I guess. Like damn. But so okay, let's just go with what Sith says. And
I think he's right.
Physics, but I do love that.
It's just a stunning visual.
And then our new was it Captain Tytho? Is that his name? Hang on.
Yep.
Yeah, Tytho.
You guys know why he's there, and it's not Panaka.
I did know, but I can't bring it to mind right now.
Let's see. Yeah. So Hugh Quarshie played Captain Panaka in The Phantom Menace. He was supposed to return for Attack of the Clones, but he wanted to see the full script. Lucas, reasonably being cautious about information getting out, declined the offer. He declined to return for the Attack of the Clones, so they just wrote in Captain Typho.
Yeah. What an idiot.
Because he did not want... I mean, he had no part in the movie. He would have been in like 3 or 4 scenes, but...
What an idiot!
You get paid. You still get. I mean, he still gets to go and do things. But
your name's wrote down in Star Wars history again.
Yeah, right. So, did he really think he was going to have a huge part? Is that like? I have to see the script. I mean,
it sounds like he tried to negotiate pay maybe or something, and it's sort of
it failed miserably. You are not that important.
Pretty interesting, though. There's a couple, a couple things that I did not know about Star Wars. I mean, obviously, there's lots of stuff we don't know about Star Wars, but I mean, those are some stories. I'm like, I'm surprised that's not more well known in our circle. I get it.
Just with any big movie franchise like this, there's always a couple people that had the opportunity and passed for whatever reason. Sometimes the story works out well; they find some other opportunity. Other times, they're just, I made a huge mistake.
And that's the thing too. Is he did have. Sith says, he did have a decent sized role. Yeah, that's the thing. He did.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I'd have liked to have seen him as well in Attack of the Clones.
He may have had a bigger part, but they didn't feel like, once he said no and they wrote him out, they might have just said like.
He may have had a bigger part, but it still wasn't that important. He's not that important in the story that you can't, like, seriously, you could just as we see, we can bring in Captain Typho with no problem.
Tahu, you win.
No way. Does he have a good speaking voice?
How's his voice? Is it dreamy?
Pictures, Tahoe. I want to see pictures.
Yeah.
And does he only have one eye?
His journey to eventually becoming a Moff is very interesting. Nice. I need to chase that up.
Wait, who
becomes
Captain
a Moff?
Typho.
He becomes a Moff?
Did not know that.
Oh. You guys are going to be mad at.
Oh.
Whoop, hang on.
Oh, wow.
I didn't go. Tahu in your rugby. Does he only have one eye? What do you think about Mace saying we aren't soldiers? At the very beginning, we don't have enough. We don't have enough Jedi. We're not soldiers. And then he sits there and just stone faced, doesn't say anything.
It's Panaka that comes as if.
I'm
off. Sorry,
I had to look that up. I need to know that story. I don't know how I don't know that. And then Palp's just making. I wrote down Palp's making the Jedi look like idiots.
Yeah.
Like he's sitting there in that meeting. And they're all like, "Oh, the dark side is clouding everything." And Palps is like, "You damn right it is. Yeah. Right here, baby, right here. You know, just punking the Jedi, something fierce."
Yeah.
So,
it surprised me. Like it's all very convenient that the others, the Trade Federation is amassing this army. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a clone army appears ready for the Jedi, and nobody asks any questions. Like. They just, okay, great, perfect. It's a good thing that this popped up. I guess we need this. I guess we have to go to war. Like, there's just not enough questions asked.
Oh, okay.
I really need to look at his story.
I still want to look it up. Is that canon? I'm assuming that's not canon anymore. I mean, it would have been a good story, but here's a question, gentlemen. Are seismic charges the best sound in Star Wars?
100%.
Those are so cool.
Those and pod racer engines.
Yeah. I forgot about that. That chase, like that was a cool space battle. Like
there's a lots of things like that. Like the action in this is intense. Like
I mean, you're looking for a couple cruisers and X-wings fighting TIE fighters and stuff like that. But the Django and Obi-Wan flying through an asteroid field and all those
ships in the
charts. Oh man, that was so cool. Like really, really cool.
And the Venerators.
Yeah.
That's the scene.
Yeah. All them taking off.
All right. What else do I have? Okay, so then all this happens, and he says something here. You guys are having an awesome discussion.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, we got to check out his podcast.
Yeah, I'll jump on it. Is it after this? Does it come on? What you come on at 8:00? We'll jump over and check it out.
Sith happens.
Let's talk about the Death Star real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so not Click Clack. I don't know this guy's name, but
what is it? Oh,
are you on about the
Lesser?
Sunfac.
Yeah, Poggle the Lesser, right?
Yeah.
So he's got the Death Star plans. Why do we need Galen Erso and Director Krennic and Moff Tarkin? Like, because when they write the books that are canon, the Death Star is Moff Tarkin's project.
Yeah.
Because him and Thrawn are fighting about the money because Thrawn wants it for his is it TIE Interceptor program or something like that?
Yeah, some sort of TIE program.
Yeah, some kind of TIE program. And then and I'm not trying to be like a jerk about it. I want someone to explain.
I think I can answer it.
Okay, so explain it.
So
explain me, Mike.
The Geonosians are going to build the structure itself. They are building the Death Star, but you have to have Jyn Erso because he is the one who knows the kyber crystals and the energy array to build the weapon that goes onto the Death Star. And then what's his name? Krennic. Krennic is just the one in charge of making sure that all these people come. He's the manager of it all.
So this must Andor stuff in the building of this. I mean, this must. happen. I mean, almost immediately. As soon as they flip over to the Empire, it's like, bam,
Yeah.
you're working for me.
But yeah, I mean, the Geonosians, like you saw, they're building the droid army and whatnot. That's what they do. They're builders.
Workers.
They have
Workers the
all those
galaxy,
worker drones and whatnot. So they're building the Death Star. It just there's other pieces to the Death Star that you need these other people for.
Yeah, there's a lot of little digs at the beginning of this movie where people are like, I mean, Kenobi's like, I feel like you're gonna be the death of me. Don't say that, Master. There's a lot of little things in there like that, and you're just like, oh, especially Palpatine. So yeah, that's a good shout. So, I don't know. And of course, we had that big fight scene that we talked about at the end, and we've got the Clone Wars and stuff. But I will say that, and I want to talk a little bit about that my Clone Wars idea, but I will say that my opinion after this viewing 3 hours ago has changed a ton on this film. I still hate the dialogue.
Yeah.
I still hate, and I know why we need it. We need the love story. We need Anakin's fall, whatever. But there is a lot of good things in this film, action-wise, story-wise, things it's setting up.
It's definitely better on the big screen than it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you think they'll re-release this like they did Phantom Menace?
Yeah.
It hits its 25th anniversary because it was not.
So.
As 100%. I feel like I might go see it now. Like I may have.
Yeah, I'll still go see it
anyways. But if I'm being honest.
When will the 25th be? 2027?
Next year, I think.
Next year.
We just had
2026
last summer because that was 99. So it's 3 years.
2002 it come out.
So 27.
So 27.
The 50th anniversary or the 25th anniversary will also be the 50th anniversary of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So and then we'll
could be a lot going on.
Celebration in LA.
Yeah. So it'll probably come out in May. Celebration is in April.
Yeah, we'll probably get a show maybe.
Yeah, something will happen.
Yeah. I think if you showed up late to the theater, just to see the back half of this movie in the theater would be amazing.
When they go to Tatooine, come in
when they go to Geonosis, like the whole execution scene, like that is so straight out. That is Star Wars to a T. You know what I mean? Like the creatures.
Yeah.
An elaborate execution that goes all wrong. And then, Jedi come to the rescue at the end, big, huge battle. Then the clones coming in and just that whole back half is just chef's kiss, man. Just, I would love to have another chance to see that in the big screen.
Yeah.
You'll get it in 2 years. So, what were you going to say, Jack?
I say it's ironic that the clone troopers saved the Jedi.
Yeah.
That's my only gripe. That the amount of Jedi that turned up just before the clone troopers turned up, there was something like 8 Jedi left.
Yeah, they lose tons.
They lose a lot.
The Rise of the Red Blade, that scene is real pivotal to Izcat's journey towards becoming I don't want to give too much away, an Inquisitor. And it's really cool because you see that battle from the perspective of the Padawan and Jedi and like everything that's happening. So it's kind of cool. I still need to finish that book, but I think this movie is poorly named. Attack of the Clones does not make any sense to me because they're like, I don't think it works, to be perfectly honest, because the clones come in and they rescue. Yeah, they attack the separatists, but it's not like the Attack of the Clones should have meant like the clones were attacking everybody. I don't know. I just don't feel like this movie's title works. And I know we watched that one time. There's a guy who like renamed all the videos, and I can't remember which one he called this though.
Right? Yeah, we put it up on our Instagram, didn't we?
Yeah, we put it on our Instagram, and I thought it was like, oh, that's really smart. But I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why the hell is this called Attack of the Clones? It could be like the Rise of the Clones or the Clone Wars or something. But like, honestly, why is this called Attack of the Clones? Like, I don't think that it fits.
And your statement right there takes me back to when this movie was coming out. And I do remember thinking Attack of the Clones and expecting something much different out of this movie. Because I don't know, there was some idea of the Clone Wars. Like, there before I even seen this movie, I think there was some idea of Clone Wars, and this was going to be Attack of the
Nobody mentions
Clones.
them in A New Hope, but
Right. And I, for whatever reason, I think I remember thinking that this was going to be more of an epic battle, more of like they're getting into the Clone Wars. This is Attack of the Clones, not knowing how any of it shook out or what side the clones were or anything like that. But I was thinking more of a big epic battle, and we didn't really get that.
No.
And
we didn't get enough of it, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that really skewed my view of this back in the day. Because it was this wasn't the movie that I was expecting then. Now, like I said, after 20 whatever years later, watching it again, I really enjoyed it this time. Like we're saying, there's some things that were odd and some things that definitely needed a rewrite or a reshoot or whatever. But I mean, all in all, I mean, I came out of this. I enjoyed watching it this weekend.
The dial, and I know the scenes need to be in there, but if you could figure out a better way to get those scenes across where Anakin and her are falling in love,
I think you just need to add half an hour and better dialogue.
This might be one of the best Star Wars movies with the action scenes that we get.
Mm-hmm.
The things that it definitely always to me seemed like this movie and The Last Jedi always were like tied for my worst movies, but I think this easily like eclipse.
Yep.
You can't forgive the stuff that you don't like, but again, we're about trying to find the positive in things here. And I'm kind of blown away by like how much.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I'm like, oh damn, that was really good. And I've never.
I don't know. It's really interesting because like I don't know. The plan for this is next week we're obviously gonna watch episode 3, and then the week after is our 1-year anniversary of this show, and we're planning on ranking these movies. So obviously, when we came up with this plan, I'm already formulating the rank in my head, and it's changing already. Just watching this movie again, like I'm thrown back to wow. I got to rethink this whole thing here.
Yeah, for sure. My last thing is, could there be a Band of Brothers type TV show?
Oh, for sure.
With Clone Wars, like just
for sure.
I didn't necessarily like. I liked it in Ahsoka. It's still not my. I know everyone's like, oh, it's the best part. I didn't think it was the best part. Balin's the best part. Let's be honest. But it was really cool. But then seeing it in this movie, and the thing I need to rewatch Clone Wars is what I need to do. But seeing it in this movie, I was like, and thinking about like Band of Brothers, thinking about remember that movie or TV show Tour of Duty, Mike, when we were younger, about Vietnam and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you could really pull this off with a Jedi Knight a Jedi Master that we don't know very well, the Padawan that we don't have to know because they're not going to make it through. So who cares, right? Like they're going to get it in the end. And then, you have 2 or 3 clones that, most of the people can have their helmets on most of the time. I think this, you have battles and I think it would be sick and probably very, very expensive, but I think it would be really, really cool.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, all the storytelling they've already done with the Clone Wars, it still leaves open for so much more storytelling. I mean, it's a war. I mean, just as a history teacher, I'm sure in class it's the broad strokes, but as a fan of history, when you delve in deeper, there are so many more stories within that broad swath. So like in World War II, how many different little stories are there that make up that whole war? And it's the same thing with this. Although it's fictional, there's still so many stories and so many avenues you can go down. But yeah, the Band of Brothers would be really cool idea.
I just think it might be too expensive, but maybe with the volume, I don't know.
Yeah.
You think Jackie boy?
You're doing better things with the volume.
If I'm honest, I don't know. Purely because I think it's sort of been done with the Bad Batch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bar, obviously, the Jedi and the Padawan, but then you could just chuck a Sarge in there and then you pretty much got your idea.
Just think about like falling in love and being connected to this Jedi. You have a good Jedi and a good Padawan. You love them, you love them, you love them. And the 3rd season, Order 66, you got to watch them die, and you're just like, what the?
I think we're going to get that with Jedi Order, but that's a different topic.
So yeah, I think that lots of potential. So, Jack, on your rewatch, I mean, do you like this movie more now than you did when you were a 12-year-old boy?
It's still down in my bottom rankings for me.
Yeah.
It's still down the bottom for me.
Yeah, I don't know if it has a lot of room to move up, but I like it way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's expertly put, I think.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I could find myself watching this and doing what I did and just kind of fast forwarding through some of the scenes that I don't like.
Yeah.
I had to remember that that's part of it, though, because that is part of the movie, and you kind of have to keep that in check. And
for me, it's the one Star Wars film that I know I'll put on, and there's a likelihood I could fall asleep.
Well, there's plenty of time to do it in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so all right. Well,
but it to that point though, it's a perfect movie for a nap because it puts you to sleep. Then there's enough action at the end to wake you up and get back.
To it, that's a little Star Wars. Fall asleep in the middle, wake up for the end. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, do we have anything else you guys wanted to talk about? I know we kind of dove into this. I think there's a lot that we could probably unpack just with like the Dooku Kenobi chat and some other things. But like Mike said, next week we're doing Revenge of the Sith. I think I just watched that not too long ago. So I'll hop back on that one again. And that's always a good one. So I did just watch that, I think. I don't know what for, but
yeah, I'm looking forward to it because like we said, I don't want to give too much away about the list, but I think we have some idea of how the list is going to go.
We're just doing the 9 Skywalker.
Yeah, the Skywalker saga. Yeah. So I don't know where this one's going to fit now, but I have Revenge of the Sith, as far as the prequels are concerned, probably at the top. So it's going to be interesting to see, is that true? Because it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like the prequels, it's my favorite, but let's see. Now that I came out of this pretty good opinions.
Mike's a changed man, folks.
I am a changed man.
He's a changed man.
Christmas
big birthday coming up on Friday. Happy birthday, Tahu.
Happy birthday, bro. Buddy.
Awesome, man. 29, I think, right? 29?
I think so.
Handsome and 29.
He said he was about our age, so yeah probably 29
for sure. This is premature gray hair, folks. Premature. I'm great early in life. So
dealing with all those high school kids, allowed to do it to you.
It's stressing me out, fools. Yeah, but so I was pleasantly surprised by the outcome of rewatching this because I was not looking forward to it, if I'm being perfectly honest. I was like, this sucks. I can't believe Mike's making me do this. And Molly's like, you're rewatching that movie? I was like, yeah. She's like, why? I'm like, I got it for the show.
It's work.
So, all right. Well, anything else? We good?
I think that's it, bro.
Yeah, I want to thank Steve and Tahu. We had Sith Happens. We have a few people over here on the Instagrams.
Yeah, check out the Sith Happens podcast. I've never listened to it, but
I might check it out and see if I can find them on YouTube real quick. Yeah, awesome. Hey, while
you're at it, check out Explore the Force. Great podcast released today.
Oh yeah,
good chat about AI.
Controversial
AI. I feel like I'm the perfect politician because I sat right on the fence the whole time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But hey, what are you gonna do? So, and Charlie behaved herself.
Yeah,
even with her strong emotional feelings, she'd be a good Jedi. Charlie would. She kept herself under wraps.
I don't know. I'm sure she's got a dark side.
What's that?
I'm sure she's got a dark side.
Yeah. So
don't we all?
All right. Well, then for all of us, see you guys next week. We have spoken.